Walk into a casino. No clocks on the walls, no windows, no natural light. The air is controlled, the sounds are designed. The layout is a labyrinth that makes leaving feel harder than staying. Every detail of the environment has been engineered by psychologists, architects, and behavioral scientists to keep you inside, keep you spending, and keep you convinced that the next bet is the one that changes everything. Now walk into a modern bank branch. Warm lighting, friendly colors, an open layout designed to feel approachable. A beautifully designed app that gives you charts, scores, and progress bars. Offers that expire, rewards that accumulate, minimum payments that feel manageable. Products designed in layers of complexity you were never meant to fully understand. Different buildings, different clothing, different language, same psychology. The casino and the bank are not opposites. They are the same institution wearing different masks. And the techniques they use to extract money from ordinary people are not just similar. In many cases, they are identical, derived from the same behavioral research, and deployed against the same human vulnerabilities. Tonight we pull both masks off at the same time. In 1960, a man named Bill Friedman was hired to manage a failing casino in Las Vegas. Over the next 2 decades, he became obsessed with a single question. What makes people gamble longer, spend more, and leave less? He didn't hire mathematicians. He hired psychologists. He ran experiments. He redesigned layouts, lighting, sound environments, and reward structures based entirely on how the human brain responds to uncertainty, reward, and loss. His findings became the blueprint for every major casino built after 1970. Low ceilings to create intimacy, winding paths to prevent easy exit, machines positioned to maximize visibility of wins and minimize the psychological weight of losses. What Friedman discovered wasn't how to build a better casino. He discovered how to architect an environment that systematically overrides human rational decision-making. And when that research found its way into the financial services industry, banks stopped designing products around what was good for customers. They started designing products around what behavioral research said customers couldn't resist. The result is the financial system you interact with every single day. What I'm about to show you are 5 techniques shared by casinos and banks. 5 methods of psychological manipulation, so fundamental that once you see them operating in both environments simultaneously, you will never be able to unsee them. Stay with me, because the 5th technique is the one that makes all the others permanent. Walk up to any casino table, and the first thing you notice is that nobody is using real money. They're using chips, tokens, credits, abstract representations of value deliberately designed to feel less real than the cash they replaced. This is not a convenience. It is a calculated psychological intervention. Research consistently shows that people spend significantly more when transactions are abstracted away from physical currency. The friction of handing over real paper money, feeling its texture, watching it leave your hand, creates a moment of psychological resistance. A moment where the brain registers loss. A moment where you might reconsider. Chips eliminate that moment entirely. When you lose $100 at a blackjack table, you push a stack of colored discs forward. No paper leaves your hand. No wallet gets lighter. The loss is real, but the psychological experience of loss is dramatically reduced. You continue playing. Now walk into your bank. When did you last use physical cash for a significant purchase? Contactless payment, one-click checkout, automatic subscription renewal, Apple Pay, Google Pay. Every financial technology innovation of the last 20 years shares one fundamental characteristic. It removes the psychological experience of money leaving your possession. The tap of a phone generates no emotional resistance. The automatic renewal of a subscription bypasses conscious awareness entirely. You are spending chips. You have been for years. The casino figured this out in the 1960s. The banking industry implemented it at scale in the 2000s. The defense: force yourself to confront real numbers. Count the chips back into dollars. Calculate monthly subscriptions into annual totals. Make the abstract concrete again. The brain needs to feel the weight to make rational decisions. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something about reward that changed our understanding of human motivation permanently. He found that the most addictive reward schedule was not consistent reward. It was variable reward. Reward that comes sometimes, unpredictably, in amounts that vary. A rat that receives food every time it presses a lever learns quickly and stops pressing when full. A rat that receives food on a variable, unpredictable schedule never stops pressing. The uncertainty of the reward is more compelling than the reward itself. Casino designers call this the basis of every slot machine ever built. A slot machine pays out on a variable schedule, sometimes on the third pull, sometimes on the 50th, sometimes on the 200th. The unpredictability is the mechanism. The brain releases dopamine not when the reward arrives, but in anticipation of a reward that might arrive. The state of hopeful uncertainty is chemically addictive. Now look at your bank's reward program. Cashback that accumulates unpredictably, points that multiply on rotating quarterly bonuses, offers that appear in your app at random intervals with varying values, the occasional surprise upgrade or fee waiver that arrives without clear pattern. This is not a loyalty program. This is a variable reward schedule, engineered to keep you engaged with the bank's products, the same way a slot machine keeps a gambler pulling the lever. Your banking app is designed to generate anticipation, the notification that something good might be there, the reward that might come with the next transaction, the points that might tip over the threshold for a bonus. The mechanism is identical. The environment is different. The psychology is the same. Every experienced slot machine player knows the feeling. Two jackpot symbols line up. The third symbol, the one that would complete the jackpot, rolls just past. So close. Almost. The machine makes a sound almost identical to a win sound. Your body responds almost identically to an actual win. This is called the near miss, and it is not random. Modern slot machines are specifically programmed to generate near misses at a calculated frequency. The near miss is manufactured. It is an engineered illusion of almost winning that is psychologically more compelling than an actual win. Because the near miss tells your brain a story. The story is, you were almost right. You almost had it. Try again. The near miss converts a loss into motivation to continue. It is manipulation disguised as encouragement. Now consider how banks use the near miss. Your credit score sits at 698. The threshold for the better interest rate product is 700. 2 points away. So close. The bank shows you this number prominently and tells you exactly what you need to do to close the gap, which conveniently requires more engagement with their products. Your rewards points sit at 4,800. The redemption threshold is 5,000. 200 points away. The email arrives telling you exactly how to earn those last points, which conveniently requires additional spending on their card. Your savings goal progress bar sits at 87%. The completion feels so near. The app encourages one more deposit, which conveniently keeps more money in their institution. The near miss in financial products is the gap that is always almost closed, always just out of reach, always generating one more action from you that benefits the institution. Ask any gambler who stayed too long at a table why they didn't leave earlier, and they will say some version of the same thing. I had already lost so much. I needed to win it back. I couldn't leave while I was down. This is the sunk cost fallacy, the psychological tendency to continue an investment because of what has already been spent, regardless of whether continuing makes rational sense. The money already lost is gone, whether you stay or go. Rational analysis says, leave. But the brain cannot accept the loss as final, while there is still a possibility of recovering it. So you stay, you play, you lose more. Casino designers understand this intimately. It is why credit lines are extended at the table. It is why the casino hotel is available at a discount. It is why loyalty programs accumulate points that feel too valuable to abandon. The sunk cost keeps you at the table. Now consider how the same mechanism operates in your bank. You have been with your bank for 11 years. You know the app. Your payroll is set up. Your direct debits are established. Your mortgage is with them. Leaving would mean updating every direct debit, re-establishing your credit relationship, learning a new system, going through a new mortgage process. The switching cost is real, but it is also manufactured. Banks specifically design their ecosystems to maximize switching costs. Every additional product is another sunk cost, another reason to stay despite better options existing elsewhere. The 11 years of history feels like an asset. It is actually a trap. The gambler who has lost $3,000 has a sunk cost of $3,000. The bank customer who has built 11 years of relationship has a sunk cost of 11 years. Both will make irrational decisions to avoid confronting the finality of those costs. Here is the truth that underlies every technique in this video. The casino does not make money from exceptional gamblers. It makes money from the mathematical structure of the games themselves. The house edge. The slight but permanent tilt in every game that means over a sufficient number of plays, the house always wins. No individual technique is necessary for the house to profit. Variable rewards help. Near misses help. Chips instead of cash help. But even without all of these, the house wins, because the game is structured to guarantee it. The techniques exist to maximize the volume of play within a structure already guaranteed to produce profit. Now consider the banking system's equivalent of the house edge. Interest rates. Banks borrow cheap and lend expensive. The spread is the house edge. It exists before any psychological technique is deployed. No customer who borrows at retail interest rates and saves at retail deposit rates will ever come out ahead of the institution over a lifetime. The structure prevents it. The fees are the house edge. Account fees, transaction fees, foreign exchange margins, early repayment penalties. These are profit centers built into the architecture of the relationship. They accumulate whether you notice them or not. The complexity is the house edge. When a financial product is complex enough that an ordinary person cannot fully model its long-term cost, that complexity almost always conceals terms that benefit the institution. And here is what makes the casino bank parallel more than an intellectual observation. Casinos are regulated. Maximum bet limits, mandatory self-exclusion programs, visible odds requirements. These regulations exist because society recognized that casino techniques are powerful enough to cause serious harm. The financial industry uses techniques of equivalent or greater psychological power. Techniques operating at a scale that makes the largest casino look modest by comparison. And they operate in an environment of dramatically less protective regulation. The techniques are more powerful. The scale is larger. The regulation is lighter. And the cultural framing, in which the casino is understood as a risk environment, And the bank is understood as a safety institution, means people approach both with completely different levels of protective skepticism. That asymmetry of awareness is perhaps the most powerful technique of all. You will interact with a financial product again, and you will feel these techniques operating. You will feel the variable reward. You will feel the near miss. You will feel the sunk cost holding you in place. You will notice the abstracted money. You cannot turn these feelings off. The psychology is real, and it operates whether you understand it or not. But understanding changes what you do with what you feel. When the near miss makes you want to try again, pause, name it. When the variable reward makes you check the app one more time, pause, name it. When the sunk cost makes leaving feel impossible, pause. Calculate the real cost of staying. When the abstraction makes spending feel painless, pause. Convert it back to real money. The house always wins by design, but it wins most from the players who don't know the design exists. Now you know the design. Subscribe, because every video on this channel is one more piece of the system made visible. And leave a comment telling me which of these 5 techniques you've experienced in a bank that you previously only associated with a casino. Because I guarantee you've experienced all 5. You just didn't have the language for them until now.